It starts with a quiet moment. Maybe it's when you notice your knees ache a little more than they used to, or when getting out of a chair takes a second longer than it did last year. Maybe you found yourself saying, "I'm just not as steady as I used to be," and deep down, that sentence feels heavier than you'd like to admit. You know you need to move more. You know it's good for your heart, your joints, your mind. And you've probably heard that exercise is medicine more times than you can count. But the idea of joining a gym, driving across town, figuring out what machines to use, paying for a membership you might only use once a week, it's overwhelming. And let's be honest, expensive. So you wait. You keep telling yourself, "I'll get to it soon." But soon never feels like the right time. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy equipment, big space, or loud music. What you need is a corner, a space that's yours, a few simple tools, a setup that removes the friction between you and movement. Because when it's easy to begin, you're more likely to come back. And when your body starts to remember what it feels like to move freely again, you'll wonder why you waited. This isn't about becoming a different person. It's about reclaiming strength, balance, and ease in the body you already have. So today, we're going to talk about how to create a full home fitness corner. One that's affordable, simple, and designed specifically for people over 60 who want to stay active without stress. We'll walk through 5 key elements: the space itself, the equipment you really need, how to store and set it up, what types of movement matter most, and how to stay motivated without spending a dollar. By the end, you'll know exactly how to build a place in your own home that gently invites you to move. Not because you have to, but because it feels good to do so. Not because it's part of a resolution, but because it's part of reclaiming energy, stability, and peace in your body again. Let's start with the foundation, not what you buy, but where you place it. Because the first decision shapes how often you'll actually use it. The first thing most people ask is, "What should I buy?" But that's not the right first question. The better one is, "Where will I move?" Because before equipment, before routines, before stretching or balance or breath, you need a space that welcomes you. That doesn't mean a whole room. It means a spot, a corner, a place that doesn't feel like an afterthought. One of the biggest reasons people stop exercising at home isn't laziness. It's that their space makes it feel like a chore. If your yoga mat lives under the bed, if your hand weights are hidden in a closet behind winter coats, if every time you want to move you have to rearrange furniture, you won't do it. Not because you don't care, because it takes too much to begin. That's why your first priority is to choose a space that's visible, accessible, yours. It might be a corner of the bedroom with natural light, a spot in the den near a window, an area in the hallway near a sturdy chair. It doesn't have to be big. What it needs to be is clear. Clear of clutter, clear of judgment, clear of things that remind you of what you should be doing instead. This corner should feel like an invitation, not a punishment. Somewhere your body feels calm before you even begin. Think soft light, clean floor, a folded towel or mat always ready. Maybe a chair nearby for support. If you can, add a small basket or box to store the items you'll use. Keep it visible, keep it neat, and if possible, make it beautiful in your own way. A plant, a photo, a note you write to yourself that says, 5 minutes here still counts. Because it does. Every time you walk past that space, your brain receives a cue. This is where movement happens. And that matters more than you think. Our environment shapes our behavior. If movement feels distant, effortful, or like it belongs in someone else's lifestyle, we withdraw. But if it's nearby, visible, simple, we lean in. One more tip. Don't make your fitness corner double as a storage area, TV stand, or laundry zone. Give it the dignity of a single purpose. That quiet clarity changes how you feel when you step into it. This corner isn't about discipline. It's about return. It's where you return to your body, your breath, your steadiness, even for 5 minutes. That's where strength begins again. Now that we've found your space, let's talk about what actually goes into it. Because the fitness industry wants to sell you everything. But you only need a few key tools to do everything your body truly needs. It's easy to get overwhelmed by gear. You see commercials with sleek machines, online ads showing stacks of foam rollers, resistance bands in every color, vibrating platforms, digital mirrors. It all looks impressive, but here's the truth. Most of it isn't necessary, especially not for what your body actually needs after 60 or 70. You don't need machines. You need support, resistance, and flexibility. And you can get that with just a few affordable, compact items. Let's start with the most versatile, a resistance band. One long looped band, medium resistance, is enough to work your arms, shoulders, legs, and even your back without putting pressure on joints. It's light, portable, and costs less than a lunch out. If you don't have one yet, you can even start with a long pair of tights or an old pair of pantyhose. Not ideal forever, but perfect for now. Next, a sturdy chair, not a folding one. Something solid, with no wheels, ideally with a backrest. This is your support tool for balance exercises, seated movements, or even stretches. You probably already have one. Bring it into your corner and claim it. Then, light hand weights. 1 or 2 pound dumbbells are great. But if you don't have those, grab 2 soup cans, 2 water bottles, 2 small bags filled with rice. Anything you can hold evenly. You're not aiming to lift heavy. You're aiming to move with resistance. That's what keeps your muscles awake. Want to go further? A small, non-slip yoga mat or towel. Nothing fancy, just something that creates traction and signals to your body. This is my moving ground. If you could get a mat, great. If not, fold a large towel lengthwise and place it where you stand. It's more about habit than surface. Optional extras include a tennis ball for foot massage, a soft strap or belt for stretching, or a low step stool for calf strength. But you don't need any of them to start. With a chair, a band, and something to hold in your hands, you have everything you need. And the beauty is, none of it takes space. It all fits in a basket. It doesn't need to be charged. It won't break. You won't outgrow it. These simple items give you access to balance training, strength building, joint mobility, and even cardio, depending on how you use them. And most importantly, they take the pressure off. You don't need to get fit. You need to feel like your body still belongs to you. Movement reminds you that you're capable, strong, adaptable. And that doesn't require a credit card, just a little curiosity. So now that we've chosen a space and gathered your tools, let's talk about how to organize them in a way that invites you to return, not just once, but again and again. Because the way you store and set up your space might be the difference between a forgotten idea and a habit that changes how you move through the world. Most people underestimate the power of how things are placed. We think if the tools are in the house, we'll use them. But the brain doesn't work that way. Visibility creates behavior. Accessibility creates consistency. That's why one of the most important parts of your home fitness corner is how you store and present it. Think of it this way. If your tools live behind a closet door or under the bed, every session begins with a small obstacle. And after 60 or 70, we don't need more reasons to delay. We need fewer. So your job now is to make your corner friction-free. Let it whisper to you throughout the day. Let it say, just 5 minutes would feel good right now. Start with storage. You don't need a shelf or fancy system. A sturdy basket, a low box, or a repurposed fabric bin will do. Keep your band folded, your hand weights within reach, your towel or mat rolled neatly. Don't stack too high. Don't hide anything under piles. Think calm. Think inviting. Next, consider the surface. Even if you're only standing on hardwood or carpet, create visual clarity. When your mat is rolled out or folded with intention, your brain recognizes it as space with a purpose. That visual cue lowers resistance. One more tip, give your corner something personal. A plant, a photograph of you doing something strong or joyful. A sticky note with a phrase like, start small, keep going. These little touches might seem unnecessary, but they do something powerful. They connect the space to your identity. They remind you that this isn't about becoming someone else. It's about honoring the part of you that still wants to move, to feel good, to be alive in your own body. What we're doing here is building a soft habit, not through discipline, but through invitation. An invitation works best when there's nothing in the way. Some people like to keep a small timer or even a kitchen bell nearby. Others keep a notebook where they write one line after each session, not to track performance, but to acknowledge presence. I showed up today. That's enough. The goal is not perfection, it's pattern. When you pass that corner and see your tools ready, your brain begins to attach meaning. It stops being a pile of things. It becomes a rhythm, a ritual, something just for you. And when others see it, when family visits or friends drop by, it sends a message that you're still engaged in your own care. You're not waiting to feel better. You're participating in your own wellness story. That matters. It matters more than we let on. Now that you have the space, the tools, and the setup, let's talk about what you actually do in that corner. Because even 5 minutes of intentional movement done regularly can change how you walk, how you sleep, how you age. Let's explore what really matters in movement after 60 and how to choose the right kind without overcomplicating it. When most people think exercise, they picture sweating, pushing, straining. But movement after 60 is about something else entirely. It's about strength, yes, but also steadiness. It's about mobility, recovery, reassurance. You're not trying to transform your body. You're trying to stay at home in it. And to do that, you don't need long workouts or perfect form. You need 3 types of movement, just 3, done gently, often, and with a clear goal of supporting your real, everyday life. First comes balance. Why? Because balance is what keeps you independent. It's what helps you walk without fear, turn quickly in the kitchen, stand on tiptoe to reach a shelf. And balance fades quietly unless you practice it. Try standing next to your chair, lifting 1 foot off the ground for 5 seconds. Switch sides, or try heel to toe, walking along a hallway wall. These small acts reawaken your stabilizers and your confidence. Next comes strength, not the kind that lifts furniture. The kind that helps you carry groceries, rise from a couch without using your hands, hold a grandchild without strain. Strength is maintained through resistance, and your band or hand weights are perfect for that. 2 sets of 10 slow bicep curls, arm raises, seated leg lifts. Push against your own body weight. All of it counts. Finally, mobility and flexibility. Think of this as oiling the joints. Your neck, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles. They all want to move. And when you stretch, slowly and gently, you remind your body that it's still safe to expand. Start small. Neck rolls, shoulder circles, katkao seted inakay. Calf stretches against the wall. 5 minutes is enough. Don't worry about sweat. Don't worry about reps. The goal is to wake your body up without fear. And to do that, the most important thing is consistency. This isn't about pushing your limits. It's about becoming familiar with your own rhythm again. You don't need a calendar or a chart, just a small promise to yourself. I will step into this corner 3 times this week. I will move my body. I will feel it respond. And that is enough. You may be surprised how quickly it shifts. Your sleep improves. Your knees complain less. Your posture lifts. Your breath deepens. Not because of how much you did, but because you began. The body remembers. It wants to be useful. It wants to stay yours. In this little corner you've created, it's your way of saying, I'm still here. I still care. In the final part of this video, we'll talk about how to stay motivated without pressure, how to keep going when you're tired or discouraged, and why joy, not discipline, is the best fuel for lifelong movement. There will be days you don't want to do it. Days when your knees ache more than usual, or when the couch feels too comfortable, or when you simply feel tired in a way that movement doesn't seem to fix. That's normal. You're not doing anything wrong. What matters is not that you show up perfectly, it's that you show up kindly. This corner you've built isn't a test. It's a place of return, a soft invitation. And some days, that return might look like 5 minutes of stretching. Some days it might be standing still, placing your hands on the chair back, breathing deeply, and reminding your body that you're still here. That still counts. The secret to sustaining movement after 60 isn't motivation, it's meaning. You move because it helps you reach the top shelf, because it makes it easier to play with your grandchild, because you feel steadier in the shower, more confident on the sidewalk, more present in your own home. You move not to change who you are, but to stay close to who you've always been. And the more you move with that in mind, the more it feels like care instead of correction. Some people like to mark a small calendar near their corner, not with workouts, but with moments. a smiley face, a word, a phrase like "I moved with love today." These things matter because they remind you you're not chasing fitness. You're tending to wholeness. You're maintaining your independence, not because you fear losing it, but because it feels good to live with strength on your own terms. This corner? It's not a gym. It's a reflection of your values, your awareness, your commitment to yourself. It says, "I still count." And it tells anyone who walks into your home, "I'm not done. I still move. I still show up for myself." So take the pressure off. No perfection, no punishment, just practice, and the joy will follow. Not every day, but enough. Enough to feel the momentum build. Enough to make this corner more than a physical space. It becomes emotional, personal. It becomes yours. Let's recap. You now know how to create a complete, affordable, supportive home fitness corner. From the space itself to the tools you actually need, from the way you set it up to the kinds of movement that matter, from how to make it a habit to how to bring kindness into every step. Now the only thing left to do is begin. Even if just for 5 minutes today, 5 minutes can remind your body what it means to participate again. 5 minutes can bring your balance back. And sometimes 5 minutes is all it takes to change everything. If this video helped you envision your own space, tell us in the comments, what's the first thing you'll do? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and come back again soon. We've got more gentle, simple ways to help you feel stronger, more supported, and more at home in your own body, right where you are.